Welcome to Speaking of Love, the podcast, with your host, Toya. This podcast was created as a platform for spreading love. Welcome to Speaking of Love, the podcast, and I am your host, Toya. I created this podcast in honor of my dad, who was an amazing guy. He had an infectious laugh, and his spirit was magnetic. He was the type of guy who made everybody feel like somebody special. If you were to place him in a crowded room of 100 people, my dad would be the smartest person in the entire room. He was an award-winning radio TV broadcast engineer for many years. Born and raised in the city of Detroit, he was one of the first to go to college in his family. And while attending Wayne State University, he developed a lifelong love affair with the game of basketball. He was the shortest point guard on the team, but he could slam dunk the basketball with either hand. By all outward appearances, my dad lived a rewarding life, but there were parts of him that were known to only him. On March 2nd of 2020, my dad's private struggles became public when he took his own life in a murder-suicide. When he died, a part of me died too. And since the tragedy, I have become an advocate for mental health awareness and suicide prevention. I also created this beautiful podcast in honor of my dad and others like him who are struggling with the effects of mental health challenges. My podcast, Speaking of Love, is named after a show my dad once hosted called Speaking of Sports. Thank you for taking the time to be here with me today as we take a journey in pursuit of the strongest magnetic force on the planet Earth, and that's love. My name is Toya Bond, and I have a podcast called Speaking of Love. My podcast is dedicated to the memory of my dad who took his own life in a murder-suicide. Aside from that, I am a business owner. I have a home-based business. I am also a legal professional during my 9-to-5 day. And I am a person who operates her entire life on the premise of spreading love. It's the secret to my success. It's the secret to my longevity on this earth, and it's what keeps us going because love is the thing that makes all things beautiful. So that's why I'm here today to talk about my favorite subject in the whole wide world, and that's love. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speaking of Love. I am your host, Toya. Thank you all for being here today. And I am here with a beautiful young lady by the name of LaShawn. She has an amazing story, and she's going to come today to my platform to do nothing other than spread love. I'm very excited to have her here. Let me tell you a little bit about LaShawn. She's an author, a speaker, and a reconnection life coach who helps individuals and couples who are struggling with the loss of a loved one. She helps them grow through their grief and reconnect to their happiness with passion and on purpose. Before starting Legacy of Love Life Coaching, LaShawn worked over 20 years in the information technology field. However, her heart has always been set on helping people. Therefore, she put her God-given strengths to work and offered her services to those who needed her the most. LaShawn has always been the person people felt comfortable going to. She realized that as a teenager. LaShawn enjoys dancing, laughing, and she believes that life is much more enjoyable if we allow ourselves to laugh out loud and dance like no one else is watching. Thank you for being here, LaShawn.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Toya, and thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, yes, definitely. Thank you for being here. So, talk to me a little bit about what life was like for you growing up as a young girl. Did you envision your life to be the way that it is now?
You know, what's really funny is I guess I actually did. I actually saw myself as a helper. I didn't know what that um helper would look like, but I always knew I was going to be in this business of service, right? Um, like you read, ever since I was a little girl, I was always that safe space for people, male
Mm,
or female. People felt safe with me. They felt safe with telling me what was going on in their worlds, what was going on in their minds. I even, as a adult woman, when Facebook came to fruition and all the things, had those childhood friends and associates and contacts of mine. Oh my gosh, because my maiden name is Townsend. I've been looking for you. You have no idea how you made me feel like XYZ.
mm-hmm.
Loved, seen, beautiful, accepted. I mean, so I was like, oh my God. So, you know, I had that feeling that I was going to do something in the service industry, but didn't know it would be this amazing. Did not.
So,
So
you've always had a heart to be of service. That's beautiful.
that's just that's my purpose. That's why I was created. I know that for a fact now, being at the ripe old age of 51.
Wow, 51. I never would have guessed that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I thought I had told you that. Yes, 51. So yeah. So yeah. I'm super. I'm super excited about life. I'm excited to watch God continue to use me in all areas that He would have me to be used in. So it's been a blessing.
So, what do you love most about your life right now?
Oh my gosh, what do I love most? The freedom. Uh,
Mm,
the freedom of just knowing who I am and being okay with all this around me. The freedom of knowing that I control no one but self, and that's so liberating.
mm,
You
mm-hmm.
know, I know in my young years I wanted to control everybody, what they should and shouldn't do, and then had children and I wanted to control every move they made, and you know actually having children and some of the choices that they made actually is what helped me understand, girl, you have no control over anyone but self,
Exactly.
and that's
Exactly.
okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to
Mm-hmm.
say, that's what I'm just freedom. I
Well, I
just
want to take the interview back just a little bit. You're here because, of course, my dad took his own life in a tragic way, but you have also suffered a tragedy as well in your life. Do you want to talk a little bit about the tragedy that you have gone through with your family?
I certainly can. Yes, on January 3rd of 2018, my husband and I received the call that no parents ever want to receive. Our 25-year-old daughter was shot and killed in the midst of a altercation with her boyfriend and died. Shot and out of that she passed away. Um, it was rough. It was rough getting that news. It was rough trying to understand how our family was going to survive because there is a missing link, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Patrice is our go getter. She was our track star. She was our tell it like it is. She was our little petite cutie patootie that would come to any family event with containers so she can fix her to go plates first. So she was that girl, and I just miss every fiber of her. I miss growing old, in her sight. I miss her hugs. She was the best hugger ever. Um, so yeah, that was the tragic moment of our lives. January 3rd, 2018 has
Wow.
been. forever changed, for has made a forever change in our world.
Was there anyone held responsible for her passing? No.
No, even though there was just as much gunpowder on the young man's hands as there was on hers, um, they wanted to be done with the case, and this all happened in Texas, and we lived in
Ah,
Kansas City, Missouri, and they wanted to be done with the case and ruled it as suicide,
oh, I'm sorry
officer's
to
murder.
hear.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've taken your pain, LaShawn, and you've given it a greater purpose. Talk to the audience about what you've done in honor of your beautiful daughter.
Yeah, so out of that horrible tragedy, Legacy
Mm.
of Love coaching was birthed. Legacy of Love coaching is exactly as you mentioned, Latoya. Is I help those who are struggling with the loss of a loved one grow through their grief and reconnect to their happiness.
Mm.
My story is I almost let Patrice's death take me out as well.
Mhm.
My drug of choice was food. I found myself in my bedroom hoarding all kinds of anything that was not good for you. I did not step into my kitchen. I ordered it out for months, probably a year and a half. I did
Mm.
not cook. For a year and a half, I was not really sociable with my family. Just to give you a little backstory, Patrice is the sixth child, wait, seventh child out of eight. It's a big, beautiful blended family. So
Wow.
she's number seven. Um, so and then I was still raising grandchildren as well. So we have 20 grandchildren as well. So
Wow.
I was raising a few of my grandchildren. After Patrice passed, I stopped talking to my husband. I stopped talking to the kids that was raising. Stopped talking to our other children. I was just isolating myself. Depression was so heavy and hard, and
Mm.
I did. I actually spoke to God and said, "If you cannot, if you cannot take this pain away, I'll kill myself with food."
Wow. I totally understand that.
Yeah. So, long story short, God said, "No, you're not." He has some humor to him, and I'm grateful for it. Someone called me that same time. I mean, literally, I said those words looking up, and someone called me at that same time, like literally 3 minutes later. Hey, I got a program that I want you to join with me on health.
Mhm.
I looked up, I was like, you got jokes. I mean, literally, what? I'm having a moment, and then you're going to send this beautiful woman to me to pretty much save my life. And she did. So, having to
Wow.
do some things, purged all that sugar, all the things that needed to happen. And then in 2020, uh, with a fresher mindset and able to really think clearer without all the sugar clouding my brain, God gave me Legacy of Love. And He said,
Aw.
you are going to help other people who are struggling as well.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely beautiful. It's like, wow, if I didn't open myself up to listen and to accept, where would I be, right? And
Wow.
now here I am helping people every day, whether they join
Mm.
my coaching program or whether they just need to have a quick conversation like you and I are having, right? I help people every single day. And that is such, like I said, that's my purpose.
Yes, and that's why I wanted you here, LaShawn, because I truly love, respect, and admire people who dedicate their lives to enhancing the lives of other people. You went through a very tragic situation, and you've taken your pain and given it a greater purpose for the
Mm-hmm.
greater good of others. That is so, I mean, that's the definition of why we're on earth. We're not
Thank you.
here for our own benefit. We're
Oh,
here for the benefit of mankind. So I really respect and I love what you have done.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for what you do. Earlier when I was reading your bio, it mentioned that you're an author. Can you
Yes,
talk to the audience about your author being an author in your book and how we can
absolutely.
find it?
Absolutely. So yes, I'm a two-time author. One is my solo project, and this is my heart's work, Legacy of Love Coaching.
Oh,
Not Legacy of Love, Living with Loss. All these L's have me tongue tied. Living with Loss, a Mother's Love. How to endure the 7 stages of grief. It was pretty much it's me and Patrice's story. And then, of course, it gives you some guidelines and tips on this is what you're experiencing if you're going through X, Y, and Z. So it's, there I go, wanting to help people even in my book. And then my
mm-hmm.
second book is a collaboration project. It's called The Relationship Survivor Kit. It's a
Mm.
book on how pretty much five ladies, we call ourselves the Divine Five, you know, have relationship struggles, whether it's parent child, husband wife, but God saw us through those. How you can get these books is just contacting me, and I will definitely write a little note in it, and I will
Oh,
get it shipped off to you. I don't really do Amazon, even though you could find Legacy of Love on Amazon, but I actually overpriced it on Amazon on purpose because I really want to be able to hand deliver, whether it's through the mail or not, but hand
mhm.
deliver my books and kind of write a little note of love inside of the cover.
Oh, that's beautiful. So how would my audience reach out to you? I'm going to put your contact information here.
Yeah, my website is www.legacyoflovecoaching.com. So that's one way. And that's for if you wanted to just have a conversation with me, you're struggling with grief or anything like that. Otherwise, for the books and things of that nature, DM me. You can DM me on Facebook. LaShawn Gunnels is how you LASHAN Gunnels GUNNELS, and then I respond immediately. So yeah.
Well, thank you for that. If anyone is interested in reaching out to LaShawn, please go to her website, legacyoflovecoaching.com, or you
Mhm.
can direct message her through Facebook right here, and she will be happy to work with you and help you in that.
Absolutely.
So, LaShawn, we talked a little earlier about what you love most about life at this moment, but I want to know with the mission that you have started, aside from being able to help people, what do you enjoy most about the work that you do? And can you give us some examples of like breakthrough moments that you've had with your clients?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, so what I like, I'll answer the first part first. What I really enjoy about the work that I do are those breakthrough moments, are those aha moments, are those I've been holding on to this pain and this hurt for all these years. And LaShawn, you've allowed me to just express myself and get it all out and be able to start the healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing, so I have tons of testimonies where people have said either from the book or from the one-on-one conversations how me just being open to listen and to guide and to direct has helped them start their healing journey. And that's what it's all about. I want to see you step into starting your healing journey, not going the way that I was trying to go and ending your beautiful life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see you prosper and know that God got you and you're on this earth for a reason. And the one thing that I tell all of my clients, and I hope this helps somebody out there, the things that you go through, it's not because some evil force is against you. It's not because God don't like you. It's not because you're a bad girl or a bad boy. It's for you to go out there and help somebody else. It's
Mm-hmm.
for you to turn your pain into your purpose and really watch it turn into something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
If we would all do that, take our pain and turn it into a beautiful purpose, not to do hurt towards other people, but turn it into something grand. Think of
Mm-hmm.
how healed our world would be, you know?
Yeah. And think about the people that we've lost. I'm sure your daughter would want you to go forward and lead a life of love and not be stuck in the pain of losing her and turn your life into someone who's not happy, eating yourself to death. Like you, she wouldn't want that for you, would she?
And she doesn't. And so I say she doesn't because Legacy of Love is me and Patrice. Like Patrice in the spirit is here with me. And I know that that kind of makes a lot of people weary, but I don't care. At the end of the day, when I feel that her presence, it's just like, oh, okay. I shout it, and I'm just like, hey, yes, I love the Lord. I'll even say I am a Christian, all the things. But however, I do believe in the power of people's spirits, and when I feel her presence, it's a beautiful thing. And I don't care how people look at me or feel about it. I hang out. Me and my girl hang out. And two of us work together. So
You have to do that because it helps you stay connected to your loved one. I know
it
for
does.
me, my dad, he loved Motown music, and sometimes I'll listen to Eddie Kendricks.
Yes.
His "Skipping Work" is one of my dad's favorite songs, and when I listen to that song, I think about my dad, and I feel like I'm riding to work with my dad today, and I'm gonna play Eddie
Yes.
Kendricks.
Isn't that great? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
having their presence around you, just feeling their presence through that song, through
Mhm.
whatever, a funny joke or movies was Patrice's thing, and
Mm.
Jill Scott's Living Life Like It's Golden. That was her song. So like
Wow.
every time I listen to that, I'm thinking, I feel her presence and just sit back and just smile. And what she loved to do with me was we would be in the car and we would have a concert. So she would be the lead singer and I'm her backup singer. So whenever
Aw.
one of them songs come on that we would have our concert to, I'm on it and it's on and popping. I'm just like enjoying myself with her. So yeah, you just
And
have
see,
to.
that's how we keep our loved ones alive, through our
Exactly.
hearts and through our memories.
Absolutely.
I want to go back just a little bit though. I know in your bio you mentioned that you worked in IT, information technology, for about 20 years. So at what point did you realize that there was a bigger calling on your life? Was it when your daughter passed, or was it before that?
So let me that my bio probably needs to be updated a little bit. I still work in IT.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
all of this work that I'm doing now from a life coaching perspective and things of that nature, it's going to be what I retire into full time. But I still, IT is what pays the bills.
Trust me, I understand.
Right. But to answer your question, yeah, once Patrice, I was called to coach in 2014 actually, and I
Mm,
ran. I kind of had some self doubt stuff going on. I was too much in my head, right? And
mhm.
but once, like I said, once Patrice passed, and then I worked my program with God to get out of my own way and not cause destruction to my own life. And when he spoke to me about 2020, I was like, okay, I'm doing it, I'm doing it.
Mhm.
Like so, yeah. After she passed, and the name of the company is all, yeah, it's what made Legacy of Love come to fruition and be birthed.
Wow, that's absolutely beautiful.
Thank
Legacy.
you.
And I like the fact that you named it Legacy of Love.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
because it is. I mean, that's what we need to leave. Everybody wants to talk about the money, and don't get me wrong, money's great, but it's just a resource. It's not. It doesn't make or break us.
Mhm.
Love conquers all.
It
That's
does.
the legacy we want to leave for our loved ones, for our friends, for all those. And when the name of your podcast is just, it resonates with me. So like I'm like, you're my girl. You're
Yes,
yes.
I'm listening to you describe yourself, and I'm like, hey, that sounds like me.
Yes, you're totally my girl.
So that brings me to my favorite question on my podcast. I like to give the story. My father was once a radio TV broadcast engineer, and many years ago, he hosted a radio show called Speaking of Sports. So when he passed away, I wanted to do something to honor him. Well, I know nothing about sports, but I know all about love. So I created this platform, Speaking of Love, in honor of my dad's radio show, Speaking of Sports. So, the $1,000,000 question that I ask all of my guests who sit before me, LaShawn,
Mhm.
is how do you define love?
Ooh. I define love, first of all, as God, because to me, God is love. And if you follow the Bible at all, it says it in there. But love is even bigger than that, right? It's patience, it's protection, it's security, it's safety, it's all encompassing.
Mm.
So that, I mean, I just feel like I can walk up to someone and tell if they're just full of love.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm immediately like a magnet. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're my person. You're my person.
Mm-hmm. The spirit is magnetic.
Yes, yes, drawn to them majorly. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
that same way about me. Those who are full of love and they come into my presence, they literally are drawn to me because of that love.
Mm-hmm.
So, love is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love it. There's a quote by Barry White that I love. It says, "Love is the thing that makes all things beautiful," and that's so true.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, that's I
Yes.
got that from a I'm a huge Barry White fan, and it was one of his songs that wasn't very popular, but at the end of the song he said it, "Love is the thing that makes all things beautiful." And I thought, "Oh, I love that."
I love that. That is so beautiful.
So,
So
on
beautiful.
the topic of love, LaShawn, if there is someone watching right now, I know that your daughter passed away, and if there's someone watching right now who's going through a hard time in their life and they don't want to be here anymore, life has gotten the best of them. They're contemplating suicide. They're struggling with depression, anxiety. They feel alone. What words of encouragement would you offer that individual to help them stay around?
My first word to you is you are needed here. All those things that are being played in your mind, all those lies that are being told to you, that's what they are, lies. You are none of that. You are
Mm-hmm.
bigger, you are better, and you are brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And you are needed here.
Yes.
If these words don't help you, please contact the Suicide Lifeline number. Thank you for putting that up, 988.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please
And
dial 988.
be transparent, be open, let them know everything that you're feeling right now because we need you here.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, we do. Thank you for that, LaShawn. We do. I like to tell my clients and my podcast listeners to stay awake for the rebirth. Like every day that we wake up in the morning, we're rebirthing a brand new day, a fresh
Yes.
start. And my father passed away on a
Mm-hmm.
Monday night. And I often wonder what life would have been like for him had he stayed awake for the rebirth of the new day on Tuesday. If he
Jesus.
had stayed alive just one more day, it may have been different. Monday probably wasn't going to look like Tuesday. And
No.
whatever problems or depression or whatever is going on may not have been resolved on that Tuesday, but everything looks different in 24 hours. If you
Yes.
have a conflict with a relative or a coworker, if you go back to the table 24 hours later, everything will appear differently. It's not going to feel the same in that moment. So just
Mm.
stay awake for the rebirth. Life is so precious. And being a suicide prevention advocate, I'm reading all the time. I'm getting messages all the time. I'm working with people who are ready to just call it quits when there could be a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Nothing is final. This is not the end of your life. And I know that sometimes we may feel like no one loves us and no one cares about us. The world would be a better place without us. But that's a lie. That's the lie that the anxiety, that the depression is telling you so that you can feed into that. But that's not always the case. So
No.
just stay awake for the rebirth. Listen to the words of LaShawn and I, and just know that you have a divine purpose and You were here, you're put on this earth to do great things, and you may fall down. I've fallen down. I've had moments in my life when I didn't want to be here anymore. And you know who helped me? My dad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
stay awake for the rebirth. And thank you for that definition of love. I love that.
Yeah. I love the rebirth. I thank you for that.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
you
for
know that's and I want to give credit to Will Smith because one time I was watching Oprah
mm,
and Will Smith mentioned stay awake for the rebirth. He talks about that. And I thought, wow, that was very powerful. And I always carried that with me. That was many years ago. I heard him say that. But you got to stay awake for the rebirth because when we go to sleep at night and we wake up the next day, we are rebirthing a new day, a new opportunity. The
yeah,
mistakes we made the day before, we can correct them today. So it's a rebirth.
it really is.
Yeah.
And what a amazing blessing to be able to be rebirthed every
Mm-hmm.
single day that we're given the opportunity, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
So LaShawn, you're an author,
hmm
you're a life coach, a
hmm
reconnection coach. You're doing so many great things. What's next for you? Are you
so
working on any big projects?
I am. I have a couple of things going on. So, and part of my legacy of love uh, business. We have the coaching entity. I'm now into life insurance as well. So that's a big
Mm.
thing. But within the coaching aspect of things, I have a program called Saviors that I've launched. And it is absolutely phenomenal. So it's Saviors. Each
Mm.
letter stands for an activity that we do as we meet once a week. So the
Oh, that's
S.
great.
Do you want me to go through the
Yes,
okay.
please.
Okay, I didn't know what our time was like, so I don't want to take up too much time.
No, we
So,
good.
okay, good. So the S stands for just being silent. A lot of and these are morning activities for the grief. For those of us who are grieving, because I know, let me take a step back. I know when I lost Patrice, I kind of lost some of me. I lost my structure. I lost my routine. I lost, a few things. I was just even, more scattered. And so again, came up with this program called Saviors. And so it just helps you just to take time to just chill it out. When you are rebirthed that next day, don't just jump up and just start, hammering at the world. Sit there for a while. So the first S is silent
Mm.
and still. So be still and silent. Take in the day. Do your breath work. I do a 5-7-5. Inhale for 5 seconds, hold it for 7, and exhale for 5. I do that first thing. I don't just run and get going. So then after that, and during that time frame, I do my affirmations. So that's the A. It falls right into it. So I'm affirming my personal daily affirmation is I am a woman of God who is open to receiving my heart's desires because I am living the certain way of God. So
Mm.
I say that immediately um, as I go into my essay. And then V is called a visualization meditation, visualizing my end scene. My end scene for the day, I always make it a beautiful day. It ended with amazing accolades, with me helping someone, with someone helping me. It's just if I have a big project going on that day, it ends with how that project and how the talk helps someone. My end scene for today was that tons of people joined your podcast and they heard something
Yes.
from us. It wasn't about me, but it was from us.
Mhm.
So I visualize that. I do a visualization meditation of what my 5 year plan looks like. What does that look like? What that the houses, the cars, the 7 children we still have on this earth, the 20 grandchildren, the husband. Like I
Wow.
visualize it all. I just take that time for LaShawn. So then we go SAVI. I is intentional movement. So now it's time to get up. Now it's time to get out that bed, get on this yoga mat and do some
Mhm.
stretching and some yoga poses. That's what I do in my morning. Later on in the day, I may do some walking, but in the morning, it's just that 10 minutes of just more ease and relaxed stretching and yoga posing and being able to stay aligned with God. Um,
Mm.
SAVI, then O, after my I go shower, get myself together, then I go on my date with God for oneness with God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I
That's
just
amazing.
I pull up my Bible. I take some notes, read a word, share it on social media, especially if another word comes to me from the word, and then SAVIOR is read, and sometimes I connect the reading of the word that I'm reading for that day, or I do some professional or personal development reading.
Mm.
And then
That's absolutely beautiful. I love that.
the last S is scripting, and my girl on here who's actually she's chiming away in the comments. Ann Hayes, you know her too. She gave me scripting because I used to say scribing. Um, Scripting, just scripting out journaling. That's
Mhm.
pretty much what it is, right? Just journaling what I read, what I expect the day to be, journaling more of my end scene, um, things of that nature. So that's my morning program. It takes me about an hour, hour and a half. Do I have to get up a little bit earlier? Absolutely. But is it worth it? Absolutely. You know what I mean? So that's my group programs. It's called Saviors. I do it one on one as well. But in a group, it to me, it's more fun just to be able to talk with others about it however they want to share, and then it just helps you build those habits and that
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah. And that's so needed. We need those tools and resources to help us get through our days. It's just necessary.
Yes, yes.
I'm going to show a few comments. We have Ann Hayes. Hi, Ann.
Hey,
She says, "Hey, my girl LaShawn is on the call. Love you, mama."
love you so much.
And we have Prathiba Day. She is my girlfriend from Chai Together. She is giving us a compliment. Beautiful women.
Hello, gorgeous.
BG Spills
Oh, that's my girl. I love you, BG. Mwah.
says, "You're a blessing too, sis LaShawn." Let's see if we
Aw,
have anyone else here. We have April Hawkins. Hi, April. It says I love the way you refer to tomorrow as the rebirth. It definitely is a rebirth.
I
Yes.
love it too, Latanya. I really
Yes,
love.
yes,
It's
definitely.
Latoya, right? It's Latoya, right?
Latoya. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I keep going back and forth. I call you both. I'm sorry. I
No,
apologize.
that's okay. That's a very common mistake with my name. I've always been called Latanya. So it's
Yeah,
okay.
and there's no N in the name at all. So yeah,
No, that's
we will do
okay.
better.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience, LaShawn, before we conclude the interview?
I just want everyone to know. I want you guys to just really take a step back and be true to you. I think that's a lot of our situations when it comes to mental health is
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to be true to everybody else. We're trying to pour from an empty cup. We're trying to just do too much, and we're not taking care of self. I have a saying. Me and my business partner Amber Thompson, we do threes. It's God, self, then others. Putting yourself second does not make you selfish. It
Yeah.
really does not, because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
So just be authentic and true to you and watch your world just open up to beauty and love, and open your heart for beauty and love to enter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I have one last question for you, LaShawn.
Okay.
When the pages of your life are reviewed and your mission here on the planet Earth is complete, what do you most want to be remembered for?
I'm about to say like an old song that your daddy probably loved it. Love and happiness. No, I want everyone to just remember LaShawn as love and happiness and a little bit of fun, right? You
Yeah.
gotta have some fun in there.
Aww.
So that's all I can. That if people get that from me, then I done what I needed to do.
Your mission. Well, you're already achieving your intention. I see that.
Yay! I'm so happy about
Aw.
that.
Wow, that's beautiful. LaShawn, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being my 123rd episode guest. I really appreciate you for trusting me to be on my platform. You know, I take my podcasting very serious. This platform is very sacred to me, and I'm careful with who I allow in this space. And you are a beautiful woman. I totally admire the work that you do. I love people who dedicate their lives to helping others, and that's what you have done. And I want you to just continue and stay on this yellow brick road, stay on this path, because I see nothing but greater things ahead for you. You're already in a space of greatness, but greater things are coming for you, LaShawn, because of your heart. You're allowing God to let you live your life as an instrument of His love, and that's amazing. So keep up the great work.
And if I can give you a word or two, keep doing what you're doing. You're a beautiful woman that suffered a horrible tragedy as well. My condolences to you as well.
Yeah.
But the work that you're doing, your dad is all around you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so
Thank
keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you and the work that you do as well.
Thank you. And I do want to share with the audience, just very quickly, that for the ever since my dad passed away in 2020, I have been working on a project that is coming to fruition on May 25th. I'm going to be writing a book. Well, I've written the book, and it's going to be published on May 25th, which would have been my dad's 70th birthday. The book is beautifully titled "Speaking of Love," just like my podcast,
Mhm.
and it's available on Amazon, and
Okay.
you can pre-order the Kindle version. I can't pull up the link right now. I was trying to do that, but I'll put it in the case notes later. It's not important, but
Okay.
it's not a book about the gory details of what happened the night of the murder, suicide, and all of that. But it's a tool. I want to use it as a tool and a guide to help people who have struggled with the loss of suicide, because a suicide loss is a little bit different from any other type of loss that you will ever experience because of the stigma and the shame behind suicide. So I will put the link for the book up in the case note, in the show notes. So I thank you all for being here today. I've had a beautiful interview with LaShawn. And LaShawn, please, let's continue to stay connected, and
Mhm.
let's keep doing our good work here on the planet Earth for God's people.
Absolutely. Thank you again for having me.
And I'm going to check and see, do we have any other messages? Anne is back with another message. She said thank you to us for today's show. And let's see. I have my boyfriend Keith here. He said the both of you women keep inspiring us. We definitely will, Keith.
Thank you, Keith.
So I will conclude this episode of Speaking of Love, and I will be back here next Saturday with another episode. You all stay safe, and remember, love is the thing that makes all things beautiful. Have a
Mhm.
great week, everyone.